GTRT here, Geeks of the Round Table. My name is Reggie. This is Gino. We're going to be discussing today the JLA Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut is kind of like everybody's been waiting for it, and it's one of those.
There's excitement. There's a lot of excitement.
But there's also polarity. There's people that really hate it, and there's people that really love it. Then you have the people that are moderate, right in the middle, and
but they're hating
one
it.
Team is trying to pull them to one, the other one is trying to pull. To me, I've been waiting for this movie for a long time, so I want to see it as what it is in itself. I don't want to connect it. I don't want to see if it's related. If it's related, connected to WonderWoman or Aguaman, perfect. But it doesn't have to.
There has to be continuation from the characters, right? Because like they did establish it from like the beginning of the movies, like the Wonder Woman movie. Aquaman was great. They didn't get a standalone with the Batman, but we did get Suicide Squad, which had the Joker, kind of like Scarface's. Like, remember the original Scarface where they have the scene where he's with the Tommy gun? They have that scene in there, right, with the Suicide Squad. But we didn't get like a Batman standalone movie, which I think is unfortunate. I really like Ben Affleck as a Batman.
No, I want it to be. I mean, I would love it. I'm just saying that it doesn't have to. Like, I would still appreciate it if it's even not connected to other movies. I would take it as what it is in itself.
Is it because you have a little bit of fatigue from like Marvel with the connection with like the 10-year process of us getting to Infinity War?
A little bit. Not so much about that. It's just the style of movies that Marvel do is pretty. They have their own style.
They have their formula. They have their successful formula.
I'm kind of like I'm ready to see other types of formulas for how to see a superhero movie, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it's drama, especially Marvel is more on the comedy side of stuff. But and I think Zack Snyder was trying to do a little more of a darker stuff. And I'll be real right now that I hated the first movie, and I was like giving it to everybody.
It was not up to par with what we were expecting. And for those of you who don't know, like basically the original JLA movie was directed by Zack Snyder. I want to say his name properly. And when production came to, I think he was maybe 75%, 85% done with the movie. And then he had a family tragedy, and then from there he had a lot of bumps and, I would say probably like a tension with the studio.
The studio, yeah.
With the studio, and then from there, Josh Weadon took over for the movie, and we got a totally different.
But that's the thing. Josh Weadon has a
vision of what was going to happen.
Different vision. Yeah, and Zack Snyder has a different vision. Now,
okay, but what did you not like of the original, like the one that came out in 2017?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I was so much taking on the fact that Superman was. I'm not a Superman fan, no? You know, the version of Superman, and it's dark, so I was taking it so much on the comic book version, which is always light, always bright, hopeful, Boy Scout. So I was like, this is not Superman. But after seeing this trailer, you kind of figure out that there's a reason for stuff, for why it's happening. And in the other movie, it was so much stuff was cut off the movie that kind of like you didn't know why this thing was happening, and so you see a Superman that is a dark.
I think you had like a
Superman that is a dark character.
I think you had an effect where I don't know if it was because they were trying to make it so marketable and so light that it didn't, so it could appeal to the masses in the way that it could.
That's exactly what it tried to do.
Basically, it lost like its edge. It lost its grittiness. There were scenes where I remember watching the movie where they had the part where they show the Darkseid symbol, the Omega symbol, and I'm just like, okay, this is just gonna be lost on anybody because nobody really knows what this is. Nobody knows who Darkseid is, which a lot of people were criticizing the way that he looked in the trailer, which to me was nuts.
But
he looks exactly like it's a great whereas Thanos was changed to fit. And they tweaked them, and they had 10 years to be able to do this. With Darkseid, it was like, okay, this is the first time we're seeing the character, and it's a gray skin, like stone, and then the blue and the armor and everything, and it looked really, really, really well thought of. Even they had DeSaad and Granny Goodness in the trailer.
Yeah, actually, because
I'm pretty sure that eventually they're gonna tweak it at the end, right?
No,
like, it's up to the certain point until March.
The thing is, Warner Brothers, I think they have kind of like did the washing their hands of this thing. So that's.
You think they're washing their hands of JLA like after this?
They already did it. So I think that's the reason why they let Zack Snyder do just whatever they want. Because before they were like, wait, I want to make some money, so I'm gonna bring Josh Weadon who make money for the other guys, and it's gonna destroy my stuff. But no, so in order to be making money, so they kind of like kill the goose with the golden eggs, you know. So now that they say, okay, you know what? I'm not thinking about making money of this. Do whatever you want. The guy put.
But they still
4 hours.
ended up.
The movie has 4 hours and change. So that's about at least 2 hours of things that they cut that ended up on the.
They still ended up on the original.
So
still ended up as a box office.
That's a lot of movie.
The original
at least 40%.
The original still ended up as a box office bomb. Like it didn't make enough money for what they put into it. It wasn't.
It was enough. They still made money, not for what they were expecting, but they still made money that they actually thought about making another movie after and all that, which is this one that they made, because Batman vs Superman was the one that kind of people were like, I'm not sure about this. They still made the Snyder movie, but I think in while the process was happening, they were already kind of planning, just let's bring somebody from the other team and let's make money on this. They kind of like didn't put their trust behind. Many of us. I'll be the first one to say, like many of us, because I was like, I don't see a black version of Superman or whatever, or a darker version, and now I can see it. No, like when I see the reason why, I can see and go, okay, there's a reason for it. Because Zack Snyder was trying to eat 10 years of Marvel movies into 3 years. So how do you do that? You do this, you're going to have to make them harder or make something bad happen to Superman quickly, and people are going to be like not ready for it. But if you cut 2 hours of a movie, then people are not going to know. That's the reason why so many movies have become cults after you see the director's version. You know? Like even a movie that was so bad, like for example, let's say Daredevil when it came up, and when you see the director's cut, then you see the reason for it. It could have more action, but when you see the reason why something happened, it becomes a different story, no?
So then going back to Daredevil, like, and going to JLA as like characters, who can we expect to be in the movie? Like, what do you think? I like. Possibility of Manhunter probably showing up, maybe as a cameo.
They say Green
maybe
Lantern
as a. I think Manhunter they're gonna do it, but they're gonna do it as him as a morphing character, like kind of just like, okay, looking human, and then he'll change. The thing like is looking at them kind of thing. I know that the Green Lantern they did do it in the trailer. Right? There's a part where they have a Green Lantern that dies.
Okay.
And then it flies away, like the ring flies away. Green Lantern to me, I love Green Lantern as a character. It's great space opera for the character. They did a really bad job with the original movie just because of the same reasons that they're happening now with JLA. That the original
wanted to make a Marvel.
They wanted to make a Marvel movie instead of making a DC character. I really, really like the fact that they had the Jared Leto scene.
Yeah.
Without the tattoos, and then he wasn't as it wasn't like overreacting. It wasn't like so much overacting. Sorry, not overreacting. I think that the Suicide Squad, when they gave him that character, he was so like out there, like it was just.
But I would say this about
steam ceiling, like Tommy Lee Jones when they did the Batman.
The thing is, that movie is also another movie that they cut a lot. So like now I'm in the position of saying, I don't even know if I can hate that character because I don't know what he's supposed to do. We've seen the crazy. The psycho Joker. We've seen the criminal Joker in the 60s Batman, the clown prince of crime, no?
Yeah, and then
and we've seen the maniacal guy. We've seen all of those, but we've never seen the Joker that started the comic book, which was a gangster. A crazy gangster, but a gangster still.
Yeah, a criminal.
So this guy was kind of get the hair back, and then after a while I saw, oh, okay, you're trying to do the other thing. And then after that I couldn't see it because I only saw a couple of the scenes that didn't make any sense.
Was it was it bad that they had like Harley Quinn with him, and then it's just like the whole relationship thing?
To me, I can even say it, none of that, because I don't know how the story went and what they were trying to do with him. I didn't see enough. There were a couple of scenes that he was there, and people are just judging it on how he looked, not in his acting. I could never put his acting down. He's Jared Leto, man. The motherfucker did Fight Club and Dallas Buyers Club and Wrecking for a Dream. He's done movies where he acts. So acting, I'm not going to put him down. But people are putting him down in the way he looks. I'm not ready for a guy who has things in his face or green hair or whatever. You go, okay, cool. You're not ready? I get that. But from there to hate a whole movie or him, because sometimes I see the comments and people are hating on him. Leto all of a sudden didn't become a bad actor just because you don't like him with a ha-ha in his face. He's a good actor still.
Yeah.
Now you bring him back to this movie.
Yeah.
You give him
Halle Berry still won an Oscar, even though she did Catwoman.
And but what do? You bring him back to this movie. You give him good lines. You give him good lines
and
to make it scene. And a good scene, and everybody goes crazy. Everybody, the comments. Oh my God! Everybody loves him all over the side. Where are the haters? There were like thousands of haters. Now no hater. I always trust Jared Leto.
We throw water.
Jared Leto was the best forever. And now, see, that's what I'm saying. So I don't put him down on his acting skills. Usually, when I see a movie, I usually put it on the director first, the writing first. And Marvel has done an amazing job of connecting every movie, and probably DC is better suited not doing that. Connecting it lightly to different movies, but trying to make their own stuff. And likely to Aquaman, likely to Wonder Woman.
But
Superman.
It's like you said before, they have like
because in Marvel comics
they're trying to do 10 years and 3 years, and then it didn't work out.
It can't work out. So the only way to do it is likely not so deep. That in Marvel comics, for example, you can actually mention the New York incident, for example, and people will know what it is about, what they're talking about. And so I think DC has to kind of do a different version of what Marvel wants to do. Keep it dark, but not so dark. If you're gonna keep it dark, then give us a reason for it, and give us hope, because Superman is hope. So not just make it hard, dark, just some hope in there, so you can be different from Marvel and all that. But if Warner Brothers are not afraid of money, and sometimes it seems that they hate money. But if they don't hate money, they could
I think the problem is that they get too ahead of themselves. It's kind of like they tried to link General Zod with Doomsday, right? So they basically revived General Zod.
There we go.
Into Doomsday to try to create some continuation with the villain. But then you ended up with just, okay, like, why don't we just get like an overpowered Zod revived, and then basically we get the same effect. So they wasted that opportunity to have Doomsday as a menace and as a character, because I remember reading, like, and I went back to Superman's Death, the comic book in itself, and it was, you could really see in the pages how they took the story and basically like built it up into this thing that was like such a threat to the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And as a character, it made him like, beyond being a Boy Scout and always being like so overpowered, it brought it down to like just basically the struggle of him, good against evil, and then whether he stopped them at the end or not. I'm not gonna spoil it. And then after that, you do understand like why the character is so important for the DC universe. I didn't get that in the movie. I didn't get that. I didn't get that his death was like, it was just to push along the plot, but it didn't really take the sacrifice of it. Like, you didn't feel the sacrifice of it. Whereas like when you did, for example, Iron Man, and when he did the snap, you're so invested in this character for like 10 years that you understand, like, from the beginning of Iron Man 1 to like Infinity Endgame, this all goes together, right?
True.
But with this, we can speculate that I don't know if they're going to be trying to do something like Days of Future Past, which is a great movie. Yeah. It's a great movie. I think it's the best X-Men movie. But for JLA, especially for the Snyder Cut, I really hope that they really define the characters and they give that grit. Yeah. Because those characters in DC, that's the main thing about them. You know, Batman's scary. Wonder Woman gives you like that heroism and the strong female type, and it's awesome.
But they haven't had time
and they have such rich characters, but it gets lost in translation, I guess, or in the shuffle, because even Steppenwolf, when he was running around and just, you know, there were scenes where they were like he was smashing stuff on Amazon Island, or what's like I can't remember Paradise Island.
Yes,
Paradise Island. Yeah, Themyscira. So basically, they didn't even make him threatening, which in the trailer is great because they redesigned him too. They gave him like spikes and they made his face like more alien.
Yeah.
But you didn't feel that threat of these guys. It was just like, okay, we're just pushing along.
But I think it's because Marvel had more time to push each character in different movies before they bring the first Avenger movie. Even they had 2 Iron Mans, 1 Captain America.
There's three.
No, but before the first Avenger movie, they had 2 Iron Mans already.
2 Iron Mans.
1 Captain America and 1 Thor already.
I think so, yeah.
So
and a Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Those are the 3 principal mofos in the Avengers. So now you can bring the Avengers. DC that couldn't have the time or the ability to bring those 3 characters in a better way to bring them together. So when they did all this Avengers thing, they were pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, not trying to. Now I think if this one works out, and if they are smart, and this one works out, and I think it's gonna work out, because everybody is excited, and you can see in the trailer it's a different movie.
Yeah.
You know, like if they are smart, they can continue with this, and they actually can kind of like take more time on each character. You know, like on at least the new ones. Flash, I think he's gonna have his new movie, so he can actually.
And Flash has a series too, right? As a character.
Yeah. But that's what DC is doing. That now that they are in that position, Marvel kind of forced them in that position because they were not making any money on the movies, but they were making more money, I think, in the TV shows. And the TV shows are not like a super HBO style ones. They are more like drama for episodic, no?
Yeah.
And it's understandable. I don't hate it, but if they are smart, they actually can connect it. And like I said, DC already said that they are working on a multiverse. No? So these are a different Earths. These are people at a different Earth. That's why those 2 the episode in Flash where the Flash from the movie passed through it. He was trying
to Flashpoint or like
Flashpoint event, and I think they're gonna make a Flashpoint event in the movies too. And they could. They have a lot of books to actually bring stuff from, but they have to commit to an idea of how our movies are gonna look.
Yeah.
This is the movie. This is the style that DC movies
are gonna make. This is the vision. This is what we want to do. This is our
director. We want to bring directors with this director to talk about, and this is the vision. And every movie is not gonna be like completely different and whatever. And if you can do that, people want to like it, man. As you can see, people want to like it. So if you give them something to like, people will like it.
And there's people that have an emotional connection to it, right?
Yeah. So these are the Trinity. Like I was, as a kid, I was more like a Marvel kid, and not even all Marvels. I was more to the street level guys. Daredevil, my favorite, and Punisher, my second favorite, and Moon Knight, and all of those guys. I was more street level, but. Even when I grew up, I started gravitating towards Image and all those guys because those guys also have street level. But everybody in the world has some kind of connection to DC or Marvel in some sense.
Yeah.
So if DC has the idea of getting a vision on it and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and keep on it, they can actually make something. But Warner Bros. Are not completely behind everything. I don't know what they want to do, but money is not one of the things when it comes down to DC. It seems like they don't want to make money.
Maybe it's just that they just.
Who knows? Maybe these things change their mind. No?
I don't know. It's just like it's very difficult to understand the mind of an executive person who's in charge of a billion-dollar studio.
True,
obviously.
True.
But I would just like to see them be able to give the characters, and this is gonna sound cliche, justice. To be able to have them.
That's a perfect word.
Give them the. Wonder Woman is great. They did Batman has awesome movies, great movies, terrible movies, like everything all together. Animated is great. Superman has his good movies, his bad movies, and everything, but as a group, as a whole in JLA, and just being able to push their agenda forward, or the group forward, I would like to see that. Like, let's see a movie that gives us the emotion, that gives us the grit, that gives us the commitment of these actors, that we feel like we're seeing something that's good and that's thought of, instead of just something that's put together.
And just, WarnerBros just step aside and hire somebody and let them work. When you hire somebody, just let them work. Step aside, don't get in the middle. Don't be like, I want to make this, I want to make that, change it.
I don't want to put a giant spider in the movie.
Just stop with that. Hire somebody and trust them. If you hire somebody, just trust them and get the hell out of the way.
And I think that's a vindication for him, because if people are especially getting behind this and understanding that what is about to happen, and now us being in the situation with COVID, it's gonna give us something that we can sit there and without sitting in a theater, which is unfortunate, but you can see it on HBO.
But I'm telling you, as soon as the theaters come back, they're gonna put it back in there. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
I definitely think so. So they're gonna divide it into 4 different parts, right?
No, probably no, because they wanted to do that first as a HBO series, but I think many of the actors in their contract is only contract for movies, not TV shows. So they are forced to make this 4-hour movie. But he wanted to go back to the olden days and do the intermission, So 2 hours, intermission in the middle, get your food, go to the washroom, smoke a joint outside for the door, go back in 15 minutes later, show up your ticket, go back in, like back in the days. And then you can
go get your candy, come back, do your thing.
And I'm down with that, man, because I'm a old school. Like, I used to go to the festival movies where you can still get the red carpet and the silver screen. I'm a silver screen motherfucker. If you bring me a reason to go to the movies, as soon as we can do it, and a reason to go to the movies, and if this movie make that money, as soon as they put it back, as soon as the people can get in there, they can right there put them in the theaters, and people will go because people will want to see this in a big screen with all the sound.
I want to see it definitely.
With all the sound, all that.
IMAX.
I would IMAX it.
Well, so this has been Geeks of the Round Table, GTRT. We just discussed JLA, and if you see subscribe below, and we'll see you later. Thank you.